I never thought love could hurt this much. I thought I knew her, every laugh, every whisper, every secret we shared. But standing there, hidden in the corner of that dim cafe, I watched her smile at him, the way she used to smile at me. And just like that, my world cracked. "She's so gullible, isn't she?" he said, leaning closer, voice low. I froze. That laugh, my private joke, they were sharing it. She didn't even notice I existed. "What are you talking about?" I whispered, but my voice shook so much I barely recognized it. He chuckled. "You know, the way she talks about him behind his back, and all those little lies she spins. It's hilarious." Her laughter rang in my ears like nails on a blackboard. My heart thudded painfully in my chest. I couldn't breathe. No, this can't be real," I muttered to myself. Suddenly, she glanced toward my hiding spot. Our eyes met for a fleeting second, and she laughed even harder. That laugh, my laugh, mocked me, shattered me. Later, I confronted her. "Why? How could you?" I asked, voice barely steady. She tilted her head, those cold, calculating eyes staring right through me. "Why what?" she said innocently, but the smirk tugging at her lips told me everything. You lied to me. Everything." I snapped, rage and hurt mixing into a bitter cocktail. "I trusted you." "Oh, come on," she said, waving a hand dismissively. "You're overreacting. It's not like you're perfect either." I felt bile rise in my throat. Overreacting? Laughing behind my back? Planning all this while pretending to love me? Her eyes flickered, a hint of guilt maybe, but she quickly masked it with that charming smile. "You always take things too seriously. Maybe you just need to lighten up." I stepped back, shaking. "Lighten up? You stole everything I thought we had. You made me a fool." She shrugged, casually sipping her coffee. "Fool? That's harsh. I never said I was perfect either." "Perfect? She called this perfect?" My hands trembled. "I loved you. I trusted you. And yet," she said softly, almost teasingly, "here we are." The calmness in her voice cut deeper than any scream. I wanted to yell, to hit something, to make her feel a fraction of the pain she caused. But I couldn't. I just walked away. I didn't look back. Not once. My chest burned, my mind raced, and tears threatened to fall. Everything I believed in was gone, replaced by a raw, furious need to reclaim myself. I whispered into the empty street, "I'll never be the same, and one day, you'll see what you lost." That night, I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I didn't beg. I left. The man she laughed with didn't matter anymore. The betrayal had carved a new version of me from the wreckage, the part that would rise, smarter, colder, and unstoppable. And I swore, right then and there, that I would never let her, or anyone, take me for granted again. That I couldn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, her laughter echoed in my head. I kept replaying the scene in the cafe, the way she smiled, the way he leaned in, the way I had been invisible. "Man, you okay?" Jake asked, sliding into the chair across from me. His eyes were sharp, reading me like a book I didn't want open. "I'm fine," I said, though my voice cracked. "Just tired." Jake didn't buy it. "You've been saying that for days. Come on, talk to me." I ran a hand through my hair, frustrated. "I don't know what there is to say. I thought I knew her. I trusted her." Jake leaned back, shaking his head. "Dude, that's rough. But you can't let it eat you alive. You need a plan, not a pity party." "I can't just let it go," I muttered. "It's not just about her. It's about everything she took from me, the trust, the time, the life I thought I had." "You want revenge?" Jake asked cautiously. I don't know," I admitted. "I just know I can't be that guy who lets this happen. I can't be weak." "You're not weak," he said firmly. "But you need strategy. Don't just burn bridges blindly. Observe, learn, strike when the time's right." I nodded slowly. His words planted a seed in my mind. Maybe I didn't have to explode with rage. Maybe I could be smarter, sharper. Have you seen her around?" I asked, voice low. Jake smirked. "She's out there, flaunting like nothing happened. Typical. Arrogant, careless, perfect for someone like you to watch closely." "Perfect for someone like me?" I echoed, a bitter smile tugging at my lips. "Yeah," Jake said. "You need to learn her patterns. Watch how she moves, who she trusts, where she slips up. That's how you get back control." I leaned back, feeling a strange mix of anger and clarity. So, you're saying I don't need to confront her directly yet? Not yet, Jake said. Let her underestimate you. Let her reveal herself. You're smarter than she thinks. I clenched my fists under the table, feeling my heart beat faster. I thought I was in love. I thought everything was real. Jake's voice softened. It was real for you. That doesn't make it worthless. But now, you turn that pain into power. I hate that I even have to think like this, I said bitterly. But I can't just sit here and be the fool. You won't, Jake assured me. And I'll be here every step. You're not alone in this. We sat in silence for a moment. The world felt heavy, yet the heaviness carried a strange purpose. Observing her, planning, it was something I could control. Something she couldn't touch. I'm going to watch her, I said finally, voice steady. See where she slips, see where she lies. I'll know everything she thinks she can hide. Jake nodded approvingly. Exactly. Stay sharp. Patience is your weapon. That night, I didn't cry. Not openly. But inside, a storm raged. Betrayal had hollowed me, but it had also lit a fire I couldn't ignore. I would rise from this, not broken, not defeated, but smarter, stronger, unstoppable. And as I watched her from a distance the next day, arrogance written all over her face, I whispered under my breath, "You don't know what's coming." I sat across from Mr. Hayes, the old man who everyone said had a mind for strategy. His office smelled like leather and old books, a quiet place where people came for advice. "So, you want to get back at her?" he asked, not unkindly, tapping a finger on his desk. I don't know if it's revenge or just proving to myself I'm not weak, I admitted. He leaned back, eyes thoughtful. Weakness is not giving in to your instincts blindly. Patience, observation, and calculated moves, that's power. I frowned. So, you're saying I shouldn't confront her now? Not yet, he said, his voice calm. You're emotional. Emotions cloud judgment. You strike when you're ready, not when she provokes you. I nodded slowly. But how do I even begin? I've lost so much already. Start with knowledge, he said. Watch her. Listen. Learn her routines, her friends, her mistakes. People reveal themselves without realizing it. I can do that, I said, a strange clarity settling in my chest. I can study her, find her weaknesses. Good, he said, leaning forward. And remember, this isn't just about her. It's about you reclaiming control. If you let anger guide you, you'll only hurt yourself. I get it, I whispered. It's not just revenge. It's self-respect. Exactly, he said. You can rise from this, but only if you stay focused. One step at a time. Patience will be your ally. Later that night, I sat alone in my apartment, staring at the wall where her picture used to hang. I ran through every interaction, every lie I had ignored. I can't believe I missed all the signs, I muttered. I pulled out my notebook. I wrote down everything I remembered, her habits, her friends, her schedule, the moment she slipped. Each note made me feel sharper, more in control. The next day, I followed her discreetly, noting every careless move. She laughed too loudly at a colleague's joke, mismanaged a meeting, overshared a secret. My notebook filled with evidence, small cracks in the facade she thought was perfect. Jake called later. You sound different, he said. Calmer, sharper. That's the guy I knew was inside you. I'm learning, I said. Not just about her, but about myself. I can't go back to being naive. I won't. You're on the right track, Jake said. Just remember, power without patience is dangerous. I know, I said. I'm ready to wait. I'm ready to watch. And when the time comes, I won't waste a second. That evening, I met Mr. Hayes again. Progress? He asked. I've started, I said. I can see her patterns, her arrogance. I'm beginning to understand how she thinks, how she moves. Good, he said, eyes sharp. Now you must stay invisible. Let her underestimate you. The moment you reveal your hand, it has to count. I won't forget, I said. I've changed. I'm not the same person she laughed at. Not anymore. Walking out into the night, I felt a strange calmness. Betrayal had carved away my navet, leaving a version of me that was patient, calculating, and quietly powerful. I would not rush. I would not falter. And for the first time in weeks, I smiled, not because I was happy, but because I felt the stirring of a fire that would not be extinguished. This was my turning point. I was no longer just the man who had been betrayed. I was becoming someone else entirely, someone she would soon regret underestimating. That I walked into the office for the first time, pretending like I belonged. Every step I took was careful, measured. I needed information, not attention. "Hey, you're new here, right?" a voice said. I turned to see a woman smiling, clipboard in hand. "Yeah, I just transferred," I replied, keeping my tone casual. "Name's Alex." "I'm Lisa," she said. "I know who you are. Don't worry, I'll help you navigate." Her offer caught me off guard. "Thanks. I might need it," I said. She leaned closer, lowering her voice. "You'll want to watch her. Karen?" Her smile was knowing. "She's smart, but she slips. People dislike her, but they are scared to say anything." My pulse quickened. "She does?" Lisa shrugged. "She acts confident, flawless. But cracks show. She's overconfident, careless. I've seen her make small mistakes, things she doesn't even notice." I nodded, absorbing every word. "And no one calls her out." "Only a few dare. She's charming, manipulative. You have to watch her from the outside. Quietly." I smiled faintly, a thrill running through me. Finally, an ally. "I can do that. Any tips?" "Keep it low," Lisa said. "Don't let her know you're paying attention. Watch her meetings, watch how she treats people. She reveals more than she thinks." "I'll remember," I said, feeling a strange surge of control. The next few days, I moved carefully through her world. I attended the same meetings, joined the same lunches. She never noticed me, always focused on her image, laughing too loudly at jokes, correcting people with that smug tone. During one meeting, I whispered to Lisa, "Did you see that?" She completely ignored Mark's idea again. Lisa smirked. "Exactly. Watch for patterns. That arrogance is her weakness." Later, I overheard her on the phone. "Of course it's my idea. Everyone else just follows," she said, laughing like it was a private joke. My stomach twisted. That laugh used to be mine. "She's careless," I muttered to myself. "She doesn't even notice how transparent she is." Lisa nodded beside me. "That's why people dislike her. They talk when she's not around. You'll hear things if you're patient." I spent the evening piecing together what I observed, who she trusted, who resented her, and where she stumbled. Every interaction gave me more leverage. One afternoon, I asked Lisa, "Do people ever confront her?" "Rarely," she said. "Mostly whispers behind her back. But if you know what to listen for, you can predict her moves. Trust me, she leaves trails." A thrill surged through me. Watching her ignorance, seeing the cracks she thought no one could see, it felt like power. Quiet, patient power. "You're changing," Lisa said one day, noticing the difference. "You're focused, not emotional. That's good. That's how you survive here." I smirked faintly. "I'm not just surviving. I'm observing. I'll know everything before she even notices I exist." The day ended, and I left the office, notebook full of notes, mind buzzing. She was arrogant, overconfident, careless. Perfect for someone like me to watch, learn, and plan against. As I walked home, I whispered under my breath, "The more you show off, the faster I'll rise. And when the time comes, you won't see me coming." For the first time since the betrayal, I felt a thrill that had nothing to do with pain. This was control. This was power. And I was ready to use it. I watched her from a distance, notebook open, jotting down the tiniest missteps. She never knew I existed in these moments. Every careless word, every smirk, every overconfidence-laden gesture became fuel for what I planned. "Did you see how she dismissed Mark again?" I whispered to Lisa, leaning casually against the coffee machine. Lisa chuckled softly. "She thinks she's untouchable. People are starting to notice, though. Small cracks are showing." I smiled faintly, a mix of satisfaction and sadness. It's almost poetic. The same arrogance that blinded me is now blinding her. "Careful, Alex," Lisa warned. "Don't let this consume you. Observe, don't act impulsively." "I know," I said, but my fingers twitched with the desire to set things in motion. Later, I dropped a subtle suggestion to one of her colleagues. "You might want to double-check those figures before sending them to her. She's easily distracted." The colleague looked uneasy but nodded. "Thanks. I'll do that." I walked away, heart beating fast. That tiny ripple was already in motion. Small mistakes, small vulnerabilities, they added up faster than she realized. During lunch, I overheard a whisper from another coworker. "Did you hear what she told the client?" "Completely wrong. How does she even manage?" I smiled inwardly. That was me, in a way, orchestrating the chaos silently. Calmer, patient and quiet, beginning to work. That night, alone in my apartment, I reflected. I'm not the weak person I was. I can manipulate the narrative without her ever suspecting. I ran a hand through my hair. The satisfaction was tinged with sorrow. I mourned the trust one once gave freely, the love I believed in. The next day, I passed a note to a junior staff member. Consider revisiting that presentation. A fresh perspective might help. I didn't need to instruct further, the mistake was already waiting for her to claim. Walking past her office, I caught a glimpse of her smug smile. My stomach twisted, half anger, half anticipation. I whispered to myself, "You don't even know the storm that's building around you." Later, I spoke with Lisa again. "She's slipping faster than I thought," I said. Lisa nodded. "Small errors, bad impressions, people are talking. You're patient, Alex. That's why it works." "I feel different," I admitted. "I'm not consumed by anger the way I used to be. I'm calm, precise. But I still remember what I lost." "That memory keeps you sharp," Lisa said. "Don't let it become regret. Let it be fuel." I looked down at my notes, tracing her routines, her friends, her public and private mistakes. I will be ready when the time comes. Every detail matters. Every moment counts. One of her colleagues approached me, looking worried. "Do you think she realizes how much people are noticing?" I shrugged casually. "Not yet. That's the beauty of it. She won't see it coming until it's too late." As I walked home that evening, a strange mix of satisfaction and melancholy ran through me. I wasn't just watching her fall, I was reclaiming my own power, piece by piece. My old self, trusting and naive, mourned silently. But the new me, patient and observant, was unstoppable. I whispered to the empty street, "Every mistake, every slip, every lie, it's all coming together. And when it does, she'll understand exactly what she lost." The seeds were planted. The storm was quietly brewing. And I, invisible and patient, would be ready when it hit. That I watched from the corner of the conference room, notebook in hand, as everything unfolded exactly as I had predicted. "Karen, the client's figures don't match our reports," someone said, voice tight. She froze, eyes narrowing. "What do you mean?" I double-checked everything myself. I smirked silently. That one careless oversight I had nudged into motion, small, subtle, almost invisible, was unraveling her perfect image. "Maybe you overlooked something," Mark suggested cautiously, glancing at me briefly. She snapped. "Overlooked? Impossible. I don't make mistakes." I could see the panic flicker in her eyes, the cracks in her confident facade. I wanted to say something, to step in, but I stayed quiet. Watching her flounder felt both satisfying and painful. After the meeting, Lisa whispered to me, "That was beautiful. She's spiraling, and she doesn't even know why." "Beautiful?" I muttered. "I hate that it feels satisfying." Lisa shrugged. "You can't avoid feeling this way. Just don't lose yourself in it." Later, I caught her in the hallway, talking to the secondary antagonist, a colleague named Darren. "This is ridiculous. How could this happen?" she hissed, her voice trembling. Darren held up his hands. "I don't know, Karen. I just follow instructions. Maybe someone messed with the data before it reached you." She narrowed her eyes. "Don't lie to me. Someone's sabotaging me." I bit my lip to keep from speaking. She had no idea. The panic, the suspicion, it was perfect. In the break room, she muttered to herself, "Everything is falling apart. Why now? Why me?" I felt a pang in my chest. Part of me still mourned the trust one had given her. Part of me thrilled in the realization that she couldn't manipulate me anymore. Lisa nudged me gently. "You okay? You look conflicted." "I am," I admitted quietly. "Watching this unfold, it's strange. Relief, anger, sadness, all at once." "That's normal," she said. "Betrayal changes people. But you've evolved. You're learning to control your own narrative, and she's just the first domino." I nodded, letting her words sink in. I can't go back to who I was. I've seen too much. I felt too much. And I won't be fooled again. Later, I observed her trying to salvage the meeting with clients, flustered and defensive. Darren tried to assist, but every suggestion she made was shaky. I saw her pride fracture piece by piece, her confidence replaced by desperation. "She's panicking," Lisa whispered. "And you didn't even touch her directly." "I didn't have to," I said. "I just nudged things. Everything else is falling into place." I took a deep breath. My old self would have blamed her entirely, felt bitterness consume me. But now, I felt control. I was no longer the naive man who trusted blindly. The betrayal had changed me, made me stronger, sharper, patient. As I walked past the conference room later, I caught her eyes on me for a fleeting second. A spark of suspicion, fear, and confusion. She would never know it was me. And for the first time in weeks, I felt a strange sense of calm. I whispered under my breath, "This is just the beginning. The rest of the pieces will fall soon enough." I sat alone in my apartment, the city lights spilling through the window, painting the walls in streaks of orange and gray. For the first time in weeks, I wasn't thinking about her mistakes, her arrogance, or the chaos I had set in motion. I was thinking about me. I whispered aloud to the empty room, "Who am I now?" The question lingered, echoing in my mind. I thought about the man who had walked away from her, broken and naive. I thought about the nights I cried alone, questioning every word, every laugh, every touch. That man was gone. I ran a hand through my hair. "I can't go back," I murmured. "I can't let her define me anymore. I've learned. I've grown." Memories surfaced, her smile, her laughter, her manipulations. I felt the sting for a moment, then pushed it away. Not with anger, but with understanding. Every betrayal had been a lesson. Every lie had taught me to observe, to anticipate, to protect myself. I spoke softly to myself, almost as if coaching the person I used to be. "You trusted too easily. You gave too much. That was your weakness. But now you're cautious, precise. You notice what others miss." A small smile crept across my face. "I see everything," I whispered. "I notice the arrogance, the lies, the overconfidence. I see the truth beneath the masks." I thought about how far I had come. The fire in my chest wasn't just for revenge, it was for reclaiming my life, for becoming someone she could never manipulate again. I realized I had become stronger, not in ways she could break, but in ways no one could touch. I leaned back, closing my eyes. I'm no longer fragile. I'm observant. I'm patient. And I'm not defined by the people who tried to hurt me. The silence around me felt comforting. I remembered the conversations with Lisa, the whispers of coworkers, the small nudges that had set her downfall in motion. But this wasn't just about her. This was about the man I had become, the one who could endure, plan, and rise above pain. I whispered, "I forgive myself for being naive. I forgive myself for loving too much. But I won't forget. Every lesson stays with me." I thought about the version of me that had trusted blindly, the version that had allowed betrayal to shake his soul. I smiled faintly, almost nostalgically. "You wouldn't recognize me now," I murmured. "I'm not him anymore. I'm better." The night stretched on, and I reflected on the moments that had changed me, the cafe, the laughter, the whispers, the chaos I had orchestrated. All of it had shaped this new version of me, calm, calculating, and quietly powerful. "I'm ready for what comes next," I whispered into the darkness. "Not for revenge, not for anger, but because I've earned my life back. I've earned my strength. And nothing can take that away." I opened my notebook, flipping through the pages filled with observations, plans, and reflections. Every note, every scribble was a testament to my evolution. I spoke aloud, firm this time, a vow to myself, I am not the man I was. I am stronger, wiser, and prepared. And when the time comes, I will step forward, fully myself, fully in control. The room felt alive with possibility, and for the first time, I didn't feel the shadow of her betrayal. I felt my own power, quiet but undeniable, like a storm gathering at the horizon, ready to break, but only on my terms. That I didn't expect to see her there, standing in the lobby with that familiar, confident smile. But there she was, radiating arrogance as if nothing had changed. "Alex." Her voice held that old charm, but also something sharper, uncertainty. I stepped forward, keeping my movements calm, measured. "Karen." She tilted her head, eyes scanning me, searching for weakness. "You look different. Happier? Stronger?" I smirked faintly, letting the silence stretch. "I'm not here to impress you." Her eyes narrowed. I thought you'd crumble, that you'd beg me to explain, to forgive." I don't beg, I said evenly. And I don't forgive easily. Especially not when someone wasted my trust. Her lips quivered, not quite a smile, not quite a frown. Alex, we could have fixed this. We could have talked. I shook my head slowly. Talk? You mean manipulate me, lie to me, steal what I valued most? No. That ship sailed a long time ago. She stepped closer, her voice dropping to a near whisper. You're different. I didn't expect this calm. This control. I had to learn it, I said. You taught me more than you realize. Pain, betrayal, they make a man either weak or stronger. I chose stronger. Her eyes flickered, searching mine, looking for a trace of the old Alex. I gave her none. Calm, collected, observant, I was a different person. You can't just pretend none of it happened, she said sharply. You can't just walk away and thrive. I laughed softly, not with humor, but with the quiet confidence I had earned. I don't pretend. I observe. I plan. And I thrive because I refuse to be broken by someone else's lies. Her hands shook slightly. You don't even feel hurt. I did, I admitted, voice low. For a moment. But now, the hurt is fuel. I've learned, I've grown. And you? You underestimated me. She took a step back, incredulous. I never thought. How? You're not the same man. No, I said firmly. I'm better. Smarter. Patient. And I see things you think you hide from everyone. I see your arrogance, your mistakes, the people who resent you. Her voice wavered, just slightly. Alex, don't do this. Don't make it personal. I shook my head. It isn't personal. It's reality. The reality is, you lost control. I gained it. I'm not here to destroy you. I'm here to show that betrayal has consequences, and I am no longer vulnerable to your charm. She swallowed hard, her eyes darting around, searching for something, anyone, to validate her dominance. I didn't give her anything. You're terrifying, she whispered finally. Calm, controlled. I can't reach you anymore. I'm not here to be reached, I said. I'm here to be myself. And that version of me? She can't touch. She never could, truly. All she did was push me to evolve. She stared at me, disbelief and panic mingling in her expression. The woman who once laughed at my vulnerability now realized it was gone, forever. I thought I knew you, she murmured. You thought wrong, I said softly, almost kindly. And now, the only thing you can do is watch. Watch what you underestimated. Watch what you lost. And understand. I am no longer hers to break. I turned and walked away, each step deliberate, leaving her with that stunned, empty expression. I wasn't angry. I wasn't hurt. I was free. I heard the chaos before I even reached the office. Voices clashed from inside the conference room, sharp and frustrated. When I stepped closer, I heard her voice break through it all. What do you mean the client backed out? They confirmed last week, she shouted. A junior analyst replied nervously, they said the numbers didn't add up, Karen. They said you ignored their warnings. I didn't ignore anything, she snapped. Someone sabotaged this. Someone wants me to fail. I leaned against the doorway silently, listening. Another worker muttered, or maybe you just weren't careful. She spun around. What was that? The room fell silent. I stepped back before she could see me, letting the tension settle into her bones. She didn't know it yet, but this was only the beginning. At my desk, Lisa approached me. Did you hear? The client pulled out. Karen's losing it. I nodded. I heard. She's blaming everyone, Lisa continued. Even Darren looked scared. I smirked faintly. She built her life on shaky ground. I just nudged a few pieces. Lisa lowered her voice. Do you feel satisfied? A little, I admitted. But not happy. This isn't joy. It's closure slowly forming. Later, I walked past the break room and heard a heated conversation. Darren's voice cracked. Stop yelling at me. I handled the file exactly as you told me. You messed it up, she barked. You always mess things up. I followed your instructions, he said, frustrated. Everyone knows your decisions haven't been great lately. She gasped. You dare talk to me like that? Yes, he said boldly. Because you're losing control, and it's starting to affect the rest of us. Their voices echoed, filled with blame and desperation. I watched from the hall, unseen, as her world cracked more. Later, a receptionist pulled me aside. "Alex, have you noticed anything strange with Karen?" I kept my face calm. "Like what?" "She came downstairs crying," the receptionist whispered. "Said everyone's turning against her." I shrugged. "People change when pressure hits." "I've never seen her like this," she said. "She looked scared." I walked away without responding. The guilt didn't hit me. Only a small ache, the memory of who I once was, the man she broke. At lunch, I sat alone until an intern approached. "Is it true?" he asked quietly. "Is what true?" I replied. "That she caused the client loss. That she's been ignoring warnings for weeks." I raised an eyebrow. "Why are you asking me?" "Because you always seem calm around her," he said. "You see things others miss." I shrugged lightly. "If she made mistakes, it's on her." He nodded slowly, then whispered, "People are saying this is the beginning of her downfall." I didn't respond. I didn't have to. Later in the afternoon, she confronted the team again. "Who told the supervisor about the report errors?" she demanded. Silence. "Someone here is trying to tear me down," she insisted. "Someone wants me gone." A senior employee finally spoke. "Maybe you should consider that your decisions caused this." Her voice cracked. No, this isn't my fault. I know someone's behind it." Her eyes met mine for a single second. Confusion. Fear. Suspicion. But she looked away just as fast. She didn't know. She couldn't know. Not yet. At my desk, Lisa whispered, "She's breaking. You see it, right?" "I see it," I said softly. "And I'm watching every step." "Does it feel like revenge?" she asked. "No," I replied quietly. "It feels like balance. Like the world is correcting itself." The office buzzed with whispers, rumors, doubts. All around her, the foundation she built, the arrogance, the lies, the ego, was collapsing piece by piece. And I stood in the center of it all, silent, steady, unseen. Her downfall had finally begun that I stepped into the room with a calmness that felt unreal, as if every emotion I once had toward her had drained out over time. She looked up sharply, eyes widening the moment she recognized me. "You," she breathed, voice trembling. "Why are you here? What do you want now?" "I want clarity," I said, keeping my tone steady. "And I think you deserve it too." She stood abruptly, pacing in frantic little circles. "Clarity? After everything you've done? After everything that's happened? Do you even know what my life looks like now?" "I do," I replied. "And I know why it looks that way." She shot me a glare. "You ruined me. You sabotaged everything I had. My job, my connections, my reputation, gone. You can't pretend you're innocent." "I'm not pretending," I said. "But I'm also not apologizing." She let out a choked laugh. "You think this is funny? You think watching me fall apart makes you powerful?" "I think actions have consequences," I answered. And for once, the consequences didn't fall on me. She stopped pacing and stared at me with a desperation I hadn't seen in years. "I never meant for things to go that far. You have to believe that. It wasn't supposed to destroy you." "It almost did," I admitted. "But I rebuilt myself. Piece by piece. And while I grew stronger, you kept using the same manipulative tricks, expecting the world to bend for you." She slammed her palm against the table. "I was trying to survive. You have no idea what pressure I was under." "Yes, I do," I said quietly. "Because I lived under that same pressure when you pushed me there." Her voice cracked. "So this is revenge? You came here just to show me how powerless I am?" "No," I said. "I came here so you'd finally understand why everything collapsed. It wasn't one move. It wasn't one plan. It was the natural result of the lies you kept building. I just stopped holding the foundation up." She shook her head. "People turned on me because of you. They trusted you more than me, and you fed them poison." "I fed them the truth," I corrected. "The truth you hid behind charm and excuses." She sank into a chair, covering her face with shaking hands. "I can fix things. I just need time. I just need someone to vouch for me." "You could do that. Just one word from you, Anne." "No," I cut in. "I'm not saving you again." She looked up, eyes red. "You're being cruel." "I'm being honest," I said. "Something you rarely gave me." She swallowed hard. "I loved you, you know. I really did." I met her eyes without flinching. "You loved control. You loved convenience. You loved having someone who wouldn't walk away. I leaned forward slightly. But I'm not that person anymore. She whispered, then who are you? Someone who learned, I said. Someone who no longer confuses manipulation with affection. Someone who doesn't break just because you want them to. Her shoulders slumped. So this is it. You win. It's not a game, I replied. And there's nothing to win. I didn't want your downfall. I wanted freedom. She gave a shaky breath. What happens now? Now, I said, standing, you face the world you created. And I walk away from it. Her voice wavered. You won't come back. No, I told her. Not as your support, not as your shield, and definitely not as your victim. She stared at me with a hollow expression. I never thought you'd outgrow me. I did, I said simply. And that's the real payback. I turned toward the door, feeling the weight of every step lighten. Behind me, she whispered something I almost didn't catch. I'm sorry. I paused but didn't turn. I hope you mean it, I said. Because I'm done carrying it. Then I walked out, calm, certain, and entirely free. I stepped outside into the cool evening air, letting the door click shut behind me. My heartbeat steadied as I walked toward the empty parking lot. It felt strange, light, almost peaceful. I had expected anger, triumph, something sharp and overwhelming. Instead, there was only a quiet stillness inside me. My phone buzzed. It was Daniel. You done? He asked when I answered. Yeah, I said. It's over. What did she say? He asked. I leaned against my car. A lot of things. Apologies. Excuses. Desperation. You know how she gets. He sighed. And you? How do you feel? I'm not sure yet, I admitted. I thought I'd feel victorious. But it's not that. What is it then? He asked. Relief, I said. Like I finally put down a weight I didn't know I was still carrying. He hummed softly. That sounds like closure to me. Maybe, I said. Or maybe it's just fatigue. Do you think you'll forgive her? He asked. I hesitated. Forgiveness doesn't feel necessary anymore. I don't have space for that kind of anger. It's not about her, it's about me moving on. That's still forgiveness, he replied. Maybe, I repeated. But I'm not giving her anything. Not even that. He chuckled. Fair enough. You heading home? In a minute, I said. Just wanted a second to breathe. Call me if you need anything, he said before hanging up. I slid into my car but didn't start it. My reflection stared back at me in the windshield, calmer, steadier, like someone who had finally stopped running. I whispered to myself, you're free now, and the words felt real. A soft knock on the window made me jump. It was Maya, a co-worker who had witnessed too much of the fallout. I rolled the window down. You okay? She asked. Yeah, I said. Just thinking. I saw her earlier, she said. She looked broken. She is, I replied. But she broke herself. I just stopped being her safety net. Maya nodded slowly. You're not planning to push it further, right? No more consequences. I shook my head. No. She's already facing enough. Anything more would drag me back into something I'm finally out of. That's mature, she said with a small smile. I wasn't sure you'd get here. I wasn't either, I admitted. But holding on to revenge beyond this point would make me the one stuck. She leaned closer. For what it's worth, I'm proud of you. Thanks, I said quietly. That means more than you think. She tapped the roof of my car gently. Go home. Rest. Start your life again. I will, I said, and she walked away. I finally started the engine but didn't move yet. My mind went back to the beginning, her laughter, her promises, the way she convinced me I wasn't enough unless I proved myself to her. I felt no bitterness now. Just distance. Time had built a wall between who I was and who I had become. Did her betrayal ruin me? I whispered. Or did it shape me? Neither felt fully true. Instead, I realized it pushed me toward a version of myself I never would have reached. Stronger. Clearer. Less willing to be controlled. My phone buzzed again. A message from her. I meant the apology. I stared at the screen for a long moment. Then I typed. I hope you find your way. But my path doesn't include you anymore. I hit send. No anger. No satisfaction. Just closure. I pulled out of the lot, letting the building fade behind me. For the first time in a long time, I wasn't running from something or chasing anything. I was simply moving forward. As the city lights blurred past, I whispered, "I'm done with the past." And for the first time, I truly believed it that I stood at the entrance of my new office, the morning sunlight spilling across the floor like an invitation. It felt unreal, almost too quiet, too peaceful. I placed my hand on the door frame and whispered, "This is mine now." The words didn't shake the way they used to, they felt steady, rooted. Daniel walked in behind me. "So?" he asked. "How's it feel?" I took a slow breath. Like I finally arrived somewhere I was meant to be. He smiled. "You earned this. Every inch of it." "Maybe," I said. "Or maybe I just stopped letting people decide my worth for me." "That's the same thing," he replied. "So what's first on your agenda? Taking over the world? Coffee? A nap?" I laughed. "Coffee sounds good. The world can wait." He raised his hands. "I'll go get it. Don't move until I'm back." "Fine," I said, though I stepped inside as soon as he left. The room was bright but empty, exactly how I wanted it. A clean start. A space untouched by lies, betrayal, or manipulation. My phone buzzed. It was Maya. "You survived the first morning?" she asked when I answered. "I'm standing," I said. "That's a good sign." "What's the plan?" she asked. "Honestly? I'm just going to make choices that are mine," I replied. "No more bending. No more shrinking." She laughed softly. "Look at you. Growth looks good on you." "It feels good," I said. "Like I'm finally breathing again." "You're going to do great things," she said. "I hope so," I replied. "Or at least good things for myself." She hummed. "That's the goal, right? Your life, your rules." "Exactly," I said. "No more living in reaction to someone else's damage." "Proud of you," she said before hanging up. I placed the phone on the desk, then walked toward the window overlooking the city. For a moment, memories rolled in, her voice, her demands, the way she twisted my thoughts. But they didn't sting anymore. They felt like chapters from someone else's book. Daniel returned with 2 cups. "I got the good stuff," he said, handing one over. I took a sip. "You always do." He leaned against the desk. "So, what changed? You seem lighter." "I let go," I said. "Not for her sake, for mine." "That's the best kind," he replied. "You thinking about the future?" "Yeah," I said. "And for the first time, it's not blurred by anger or guilt." "What do you want it to look like?" he asked. "I want clarity," I said. "I want relationships built on truth. I want work that matters. And I want peace, real peace." He nodded. "Sounds like a new beginning." "I think it is," I said. "A version of me I didn't know I could become." "You're stronger now," he said. "I'm myself now," I corrected. "That's the difference." He grinned. "Well, your first meeting as the new version of you starts in an hour." "Good," I said. "I'm ready." He walked out, leaving the door open. I sat down at my desk, letting the chair embrace me. It felt right, like the world around me had aligned just enough to let me breathe without fear. Another message came through from a friend, "Proud of how far you've come." I typed back, "Me too." I leaned back, closed my eyes for a moment, and whispered, "I made it out." This wasn't revenge. This wasn't triumph over anyone else. This was reclaiming myself. The betrayal that once defined me had become a stepping stone, nothing more. I wasn't the person who begged for answers. I wasn't the person who accepted crumbs disguised as love. I wasn't trapped in anyone's shadow. I opened my eyes, smiling at the quiet room. "A new beginning," I said softly. "And this time, it's mine." Then I stood, ready to walk forward, not away from something, but toward everything waiting ahead.